Alright, so I just got back from the store. I got a 6-panel pine door here. I believe it's a solid wood door with a pine veneer, I think is what it's called. It's 32 wide and it's unfinished. So I'm just going to put some clear shellac on the door frame. What else? Oh, I got some 1.5 inch insulation there that I'm going to install as well. So I think I'll get to it here. I gotta get this stuff in the basement. Alright, so this is what I was working on last night here. I don't have a light, so it's gonna get dark. But what I did was, that was that 1.5 inch styrofoam, like a R7.5. I cut it so that it fit in between 2x4s here. So makes everything flush. It'll provide some insulating value as well. I don't know how much of insulation I'm really going to need here, but so I did it like that. I'm actually pretty impressed with myself how well the cuts came out. And I didn't use that foam board adhesive because I measured these pretty tight, and these are actually like pressed into place. So once I get my paneling over to the top of that, they're not going to go anywhere. I had to push them into place pretty well. So that's what that looks like. I'm still deciding on what I'm going to do for paneling, but there's going to be a ton of cutting around like all of these steps here all the way up. That's going to be a ton of cutting, but it's got to be done. So yeah, that's kind of what that looks like. It should be good this way. I don't see why it wouldn't be. And then I looked at some electrical stuff for boxes and that type of thing. And then also for, man, just look at that. Whew, that's nice. What else? Oh yeah, some other stuff too. I'll let you in on that once I get closer to it. So this is where we're at, still using the other. Right, so this is the door that I picked up. Got in the basement here. I'm going to start putting some clear shellac on it. Pine door, solid wood. That's a pre-hung door, so it comes with a frame. Get the frame on the floor over here. Yeah, so what I'm doing here, in a second I'm going to take one of these tack cloths and wipe it down to get all the, it's basically just really dusty. I'm not going to sand it. I'll put a coat of shellac on it and then I may sand it. I probably won't though. This is the stuff that I'm using for shellac. It's just a clear, basically just keeps everything that's in the wood in. And then yeah, so that's what that is. That should take a few seconds here. The shellac usually dries pretty quick, especially the first coat. Just the wood just sucks it in. This is, I talked about this, the electrical. This is what I'm thinking. So I'll have a, I don't know what I'm going to do this with this camera here. I think it's impossible. Light switch up on the wall. This outlet then will be a ground fault, and then this outlet here will go to this one. It'll all be in conduit. Yeah, so that's what that looks like. I'm just going to go with 2 outlets on that. That would be on the foam board wall. This up here is going to be my junction box where I switch from Romex to the THHN wire for inside the conduit. So, and I'll probably pull a separate 15 amp circuit for that, or wire. There's also this other stuff I picked up, which is like a, I don't know, it's like a wire chase type stuff, but, or non-metallic raceway. I'm not using that. I don't like the way that looks. I'd rather use conduit and give it a little bit more of an industrial look. And then there's also this floor diffuser I picked up today. I'll let you figure out what that's for. You'll see that in a later video. So there you go. On to the door. Alright, so we're looking at the steps here coming down. And if you recall earlier, I showed you a diffuser that I picked up from Menards, which was very inexpensive because they were on sale. Anyway, why would I have done this? Well, first, before we get too carried away, so this is the piece of the rise from the steps that I cut out. As you can see here, I used a drill bit to get the hole started, and then had I had a scroll saw or jigsaw, I think that's what it's called, I could have easily cut this. But because I don't have one of those, I tried using this. Otherwise I was just going to wait until I got down to my parents and use my dad's saw, because he seems to have everything. Anyway, but this needle nose vice grip and hacksaw blade just wouldn't cut it. And then I remembered I had a drywall saw, so I used that to cut majority of it, and then I used the good old, is this a crosscut saw? Once I got the opening large enough. So anyway, it didn't go too bad. The cut was pretty easy. I don't think it's going to affect the structure of the steps because I took out such a small section here. If it does, I thought I could also put a piece of steel plate across this whole back on the other side and then screw it from the back, but I honestly don't think this is going to be an issue. Oh, and then the screws, what this plate came with, like a baffle in it and an insert. I took all that off because this is just what I wanted, was a pass-through vent. It's not for heat or anything like that. My idea is, let's talk about these screws real quick here. These screws here are stainless steel, painted brown, because I had them. So they really probably don't need to be stainless steel. Anyway, and I may try to find a different brown to match because I know I have lighter, more like tan. The reason for this vent underneath the steps is the following. My idea is that if you're underneath the steps, let's say you're there with your family or whoever, and you need to be there for a while. It's going to get warm once that door is closed back here, and you're going to have some I don't know, stale air, I guess. So my idea was kind of like the root cellars that you'd make, have a air intake at the bottom there, which should draw cool outside fresh air from outside this area underneath the steps. And then if we turn around here, way above, I'm going to leave space up here for the hot air then to exit. At least that's the thought. Now if that's going to work, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see and try it out, but I would think there'd be some ventilation going that way. So I don't know, that's what I did. I've seen other people or other projects do it that way as well, so I don't know. I know that's what they usually do in a root cellar. They'll put a vent at the top and a vent at the bottom to pull air in so the stuff doesn't mold, so you always have constant airflow.